Today I want to tell you about a little module that I wrote recently for Drupal, and that is called a comma-separated string widget. So what this does is tried to make it very explicit with the title, but you might not know what that means. So in Drupal, many times when you have a text field, you can make any field, you can make it multi-value, and text fields are just one example of that. So if you make a field multi-value, what will happen is that you'll have the form to enter field, and it will be either repeated n times, like 5 times, if you say that it has 5 values at most, or it will be added dynamically with a button to says add another item, and it will just copy the form element for it. So for text fields, what that does is that it adds another text box under the previous one. The problem that I had with that is that it takes time in some bloated systems to make that request to have the server send you the form element and all that. So I wanted to have a very simple way to add multi-value elements to a text field. I searched, probably didn't go to the right places, but I couldn't find how to do this, so I wrote a small module for it. And since the module is so simple, I'm gonna show the code for it as well. So the idea is that we go to let's say we put a text field in a content type, and we name it whatever we want, and we go to the manage form display, and I'm gonna do this in contrib, my local contrib. Yes, that will work. So in here, I'm an admin already, so I'm gonna go to structure, content types, and then I'm gonna add a text field in the article node, and I'm gonna call it text plain, and this is gonna be text field test. Save and continue. I'm gonna, those default values are okay for me, but I want to make it unlimited, right? All right, save field settings, and let's change this a little bit. Add some comma separated values. So this is what we want to have, and these may not be required. So this is what it will look like by default. So you keep clicking add another item, and it keeps giving you text with elements that you can rearrange, which is cool. But in this case, this is not what we want. So if I go to create a node right now, something like node add article, and open this in a new tab. So you'll see that at the end we have this text field, and as we said, we have this, and this help text is not very helpful because we don't have comma separated values. So what we want to do is go to manage form display, and the widget for the default form display, which is the only one that I have right now. I want to make it text field with comma separated values. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go here and refresh the page, and as you can see, there is only a single text field, and you can add some comma separated values. Foo bar bars. I probably want to give it an article title. Call it title, and body. Feeling creative right now, so save it as a draft. That's fine. And so if I go back, you'll see that have the same values, but this might make you think, oh, do I have one value with commas in it, or do I have multiple values? So when we render it, you'll see, oh, we're now rendering the text field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change back temporarily this text field for the original one. And I'm going to refresh this. Oops, I'm going to go to the edit page, and you'll see that indeed these are separate form values. And I'm going to change this back to separated values. So the big advantage is that you can copy and paste easily multi-values for, let's say, I don't know, an export, or you can do manual input much faster because you don't need to wait for the other one, change fields, etc. And then click a button. So this was helpful for me, so I created the module, and if it's helpful for you, I invite you to use it. So let's go now to browse the code repository. The code is very simple. It has a field widget and the tests for it. So here we only have unit tests because it was very simple to implement, because Drupal offers the right abstractions to do this. It was very pleasing to see how well carefully thought out this all was. So in here I'm going to just create the field widget plugin for the field type string, and I'm going to say that it handles multi-values. So that's one of the keys here. So what this says is that this tells Form API, hey, do not try to do this duplication of the form element for whenever a field using this widget is configured to have multiple values, because I know that this widget already handles multiple values. So this is one of the key parts of this. And then what I'm doing is I'm extending the string text field because it has some nuances that I wanted to just keep. I just wanted to add some extra behavior on top. So the form element is the same, but I'm putting the default value as the implosion of the different multi-values. So what we saw earlier in here is that what we're seeing is that the default value for this text field, what we're doing is we're collecting the field 0, 1, and 2, and we are joining them with a comma. Joining them with a comma and space here. And then the other method that we are implementing is massage form values, which what it does is it just takes the whatever user input we got for this widget, and we put it in a form or in a format that field API will understand and will be able to save. So basically what that means is that we need to explode by commas. The limiter here is defaulting to commas. Clean any extra surrounding spaces, and then just make it value item, an array of value item. So it would be array of 0 value foo, 1 value bar, 2 value buzz. And that's pretty much it. And with that, you just go and configure just like we saw earlier, and it's all done. So that's it. Please consider commenting and subscribing, as I said before.